because she doesn't realise that she's in fucking danger. The window is open. Hello strangers, I'm Ravenna, and today I'll be doing my wrap up of the month of June. I read 6 books in June, so that's quite low for me, and one was just this really short thing. I also abandoned a book in June, which was Deathless by Catherynne Valente. This book was okay. Basically, it had to go back to the library and I just was not invested in it. I got to part 3 and I just didn't really care about the main character and whatever she was doing. I might pick it up again someday, but I definitely wasn't really in the mood for what it was, which was like this close historical fantasy thing set in like the Cold War, like the beginnings of the Cold War, like so 1948. So let's get into the books that I actually finished and have star ratings for. So this month I read a mix of 3 stars and 4 stars, so really just in like the middle of my usual reading. Nothing was really great, nothing was really bad, but I have opinions on all of them, mostly. So let's get into the 3 stars. So to start with, I read The Quotient by Helen Hoang. This is an own voices autistic erotica book. I thought it was a rom-com. But no, it's definitely erotica. As I've talked about several times in several different places, I myself am autistic. And I'd heard this book was really good, so I was excited to give it a chance. But it wasn't really enjoyable for me. A lot of self-hate, and so much of the plot really relied on the main character being autistic, and I honestly don't think it needed to rely on the autism so much. Like, the main character's all her issues were that she was autistic, and that's the way it was framed. I mean, maybe if it had been framed more about her attitudes towards her autism were the thing that was actually really negative, but I feel like it wasn't paid that way. And I know Hoang is autistic herself, but she talks about her journey with autism, and she came up with this idea to have this autistic woman have to hire an escort to teach her about sex. That's the plot, by the way. So she came up with the idea first, and then wrote it and discovered along her way of doing research that she has a lot of autistic traits that women tend to have, and it's basically, I don't know, like, you could argue why this happens, but autistic traits tend to be different in women and men. Like, you could argue it's maybe biology, but I think it's the way women and men are socialized that actually makes the difference. But that's my opinion. We won't get into it. But like, it basically just, it shows up definitely for whatever reason. So basically she did go into this book with this idea of what autism is, and I feel like maybe that's why I really didn't like it. The main reason I couldn't really enjoy this was, one, it wasn't really for me. I'm not a big fan of sex scene after sex scene. I get really bored with it. Like, I will read stuff with sex scenes, but I get bored if that's all that is. If that's all you're gonna give me, I'm gone. Bye. And to be honest, I didn't think the sex scenes were that good either, because like the main male character, Michael, would just say really baffling things, or like just take me out the moment. And there was this whole scene where like there was a thing, you like the word pussy? I'm like, no, I find it terrible. You've like killed the mood, Michael. And then there was this thing where he said that the main character had nipples that men and babies dream of. Why are you bringing babies into this sex scene? I know sex is how we make babies, but like, why does your mind go there? Especially when babies do not give shits about nipples. Like, that's a very dumb thing to think or say or to write, really. I don't know, maybe nipples is Hoang's thing. But it's took me right out of it. I like, no, actually, see the thing about the pussy, it's like, say the right word for it, and like, the right word is vagina, and you have a penis, and you put the penis in the vagina, and that's how babies are made. You dumb fuck, Michael. The window is open. So like I said, the kiss quotient is erotica. So in terms of autistic rep, I have thought maybe about doing a video about the kiss quotient and a full and like my issues about it, but I think I might do a video about internal ableism, but I don't think I will do like a proper video review of it. I will do a written review. A written review of the kiss quotient is coming, and I talk about it. I'm going to use like my initial reactions. I also live tweeted it because like I thought, well, I'm going to do a review on this and I'm listening to the audiobook, so that I'll live tweet it. That'll probably be the easier thing to do. And then it started going bad. Like I said, there was just like this novel, I couldn't enjoy it. Like there was so much self-hate, and then this was this weird like weird sexual harassment and sexual assault story thing going on. Like this is his main character, and I don't know what his function in the story was meant to be, because like he was an asshole. All he was an asshole who sexually assaulted the main character twice. The second time maybe not sexual assault, but probably was. But like the first time he does it is like she's told him, I don't want to date you, I have a boyfriend, which are all like, no. Those are all like, consent is no, go away. Like, and she's like trapped against the car and he kisses her, and like then she freaks out and goes and has to brush her teeth, and like there's like little bit of, but the thing, if he had just been a shit asshole and that, and there's this moment where I think she's gonna call him out and then she doesn't, which is like, if she called him out on it, then I guess we could have had something. But that's basically, like, I couldn't enjoy it because there was this weird sexual harassment / assault thing. Like, you know, like kissing someone without consent is sexual assault, especially with her whole reaction towards it. Is like, yep, that was assault. Like I said, I don't like the scenes that I did read. I skimmed read through a lot of stuff, but some of the lines were just bad, in my opinion. The autism, like, the actual autistic traits is like, did almost okay. Like, she immediately says she's autistic. It's not some big shocking reveal. It's like said in the first chapter, so it's like it's part of the exploration. So we know this character's autistic. She's shown as being autistic. But the thing I don't get, like, her autism is a secret to the love interest, even though she like says, this is just a business arrangement. You're gonna teach me how to do this sex so then I can get myself a man I don't actually want, but my mother is passioning me to have children for some reason, because society sucks. I mean, like, there's a lot of society sucks in this book, but it's never acknowledged as society sucking enough. Like, I just, like, Stella doesn't know. There's just this line about the whole sexual assault thing. She feels like, oh, I'm glad she's interested in him, so I don't have to feel bad for him. He sexually assaulted you twice. He asked you if you were a virgin in a work situation. He's an asshole. And I know it's meant to be like paid as him having, he's socially awkward. It's sort of paid that way, but I think with the idea people have with like autism, I think that's a dangerous route to go down, especially when he never gets called out on it. Like, I think like self-hate and internal ableism can work, but I feel like it's not addressed well enough for it to work. Like, she has all this self-hate and she won't tell Michael that she's autistic, and it's not fun. It's just fucking bullshit. So yeah, as an autistic person, like, I know this is on Voices, right? That's great. But like, fucking, you didn't make it fun, Helen. It's not fun to read. And I want to have a conversation with you about tunnel ableism, because like, if I don't know, like, did you not realise how self-hating Stella just is for like a good chunk of the book? Just fucking self-hating all the way. So like the autism, like she has autistic traits, she has sensory stuff about skin, she doesn't understand stuff, but sometimes the not understanding stuff just comes across as Stella being a fucking idiot, because like, why does she feel sorry for somebody she doesn't like? Like, I don't get that choice. And like, the self-hating thing is maybe like addressed in like a paragraph, but I just don't feel that paragraph is strong enough to actually address all the self-hatred that she has towards her autism. And it's just, it's not fun. It's not fun. Why do we have to have this narrative? Why can't someone just be, I'm autistic, I know I'm bad at this, I want to fix it because I do, and I'm a powerful woman with a high-ranking job that I got myself. No, she has to be some asshole guy gives her mother's pestering her to get a date. She doesn't want one. It's very heteronormative, which also isn't fun. I mean, there's a conversation about, I would love you if you were gay, but like, would you love him if he was asexual? I don't know, like, that's the thing, like, that scene doesn't really make up for the heteronormative. I don't know. Like, heteronormative is a part of society and whatever. Just, I hate. My big problem with this book is it's not fun, and then there's this fucking self-hating shit, and I'm just like, I'm so done. Basically, the reason why I'm like have a lot of issues with the Quotient is it has this magical line where like, I'm not a disabled autistic girl, while she's self-hating in the shower, and I'm like, she never claims her autism, and she never claims her disability, like, because here's the thing, she's sexually assaulted, and she still feels sorry for the guy. That's something that's definitely a disability, because she doesn't realise that she's in fucking danger. I should shut the window. So she has this whole thing where she says, I'm not an autistic disabled girl. Something like that. You are. So what, Stella? People want to like, I don't fucking care if someone wants to debate. Oh, autism isn't a disability. Go ahead and tell me how bad mental health isn't a disability too. Just go, you tell me all that bullshit in the comments. See, the thing is, like, especially with Stella, is that she's like, this guy sexually assaults her and she feels sorry for him. Like, that's not right. There's something, like, therapy or something. I was going to say there's something wrong with Stella, and when I say that I think there's something wrong with Stella, I don't mean because she's autistic. I mean, what the fuck, Hoang? Like, why is he getting a happy ending? He's the bad guy. You've set him up to be the bad guy, but I actually like feel like Hoang has set up for like this spin-off novel, and I'm like, no, Hoang, no. No one wants, well, some people want that, but that's because fucking, I don't know, I'm not gonna lie, I don't enjoy sexual assault against a disabled woman, and I don't, see, the thing is, you can have like self-hatred and sexual assault, but if you don't address them, then no, you can have them. If the main character is still feeling sorry for her, someone who sexually assaulted her, and she was like really not happy with this guy, but still, oh, I'm so glad I don't have to feel guilty about not going on a second date with him. I'm like, why did you go on the first one? Like, it just doesn't work. It doesn't work. Like, no matter, like, even without the autism, it's made worse with the autism, but without the autism, if like a neurotypical woman was like saying, oh, I'm glad I don't have to feel sorry for my sexual assault, you would feel like, oh honey, society's really fucked you over. Like, I think it's just like this internal ableism, or like Hoang not really seeing how fucking problematic that is, because like, it's sexual assault against a disabled woman, which is like sexual assault against disabled people, or like where they're taking advantage of, is like a serious issue, and it's just like not fun. And it just really makes me think this other autistic book I read that was like the autism was just a plot. I think the main reason I was never going to like the Quotient, and if I'd really thought about it, and if I'd actually listened to the details of the praise that this book was getting before I bought it, I just had, ooh, own voices. Autistic, sorry. That sounds cool. I think the most annoying thing about the Quotient is that Helen Hoang has this author note talking about how autism finding that label like really made her feel and feel like her authentic self, but like none of that's in the book. Stella just hates herself, and she, like, the only moment she ever has of like self-reclamation or whatever is to say, I don't need to change for no man. And like, so I'm not gonna quit my job because I like my job. I mean, Michael had nothing to do with Stella's job, so why was she gonna fucking, it's stupid. It's the whole misunderstanding narrative that happens in these stupid rom-com things. Like, still straight up erotica, like sex is more important than any other stuff. And it's bad. I like Michael's family. They're not actually characters, but I like them. You're very coming. That is like, I'm gonna edit a lot of that out, but I just ranted about the Quotient for like 20 minutes, so it's probably a good thing this is on the shorter side of books. I also read The Night Chef by Debi, and this is a book about depression, and it's just this really like short picture book with illustrations, and depression is a dragging. It's okay. I've literally read it in the library standing because of how short it was. Like, I think if you see it in the library, read it. I don't really have a lot to say. It's just, it was okay. So now on to the 4 stars. So firstly, we've got Queen of Geek, which is actually, to be brutally honest, is more like a 3.5 star. But I enjoyed it. Kind of. Ish. It's also an autistic own voices book where I think it's done badly. It's a lot of stuff in Queens of Geek is done badly. Like the film industry stuff, the YouTube stuff, the autism stuff. So like I say, this is own voices. Jen Wilde herself is also autistic. But here's the thing, like, the traits are like put in, like, it's mostly social anxiety side of autism, but like the real big problem is that instead of showing autistic traits and like issues, there's like this speech that goes on for like 2 pages in the middle of the book, and I did film a video review on it, and I'm just like, I've been so busy this month that I just haven't got around to finish editing it. But I was rewatching the video essay, and I remembered like the character who gives this speech to the other autistic character, and which I think is kind of the real disappointing thing, is a book with 2 autistic women, and it's just like, they have this conversation and it's just not interesting, and it's not really a conversation about autism. It's more like, this is an inspirational speech to autistic people. But like, I don't know, I'm 25, not 15, but like, I don't think 15-year-old me would have recognised that as like this empowering speech. I think it would just been, those are traits of autism. Goodbye. Also, the baffling thing, like, she just makes this speech to the character, but actually, in the dialogue, it talks about how she did a panel on the importance of diversity. So, if she was gonna make a speech in the book, why not just have that panel as part of the plot instead of her then doing this whole speech thing? Like I said, I'm gonna make a video about it, so like I don't want to really get into it, but like, it's like a lot of it made me cringe. Like, dialogue and plot elements of it made me cringe. Like, there's some good stuff in it, like all the relationships are really healthy, which is great. A lot of YA relationships are terrible, but like there's 2 romantic relationships set up during the course of the book, and those are really nice and fun, and you can enjoy them mostly when like there's not cringy shit going on. I don't know, the cringe ruins it. And like I said, Jen Wilde, like, There's actually a question at the back of the book, how did you research this book? And she just goes into like feminist ideas and like how to show representation, because she has a back character that's important, and she has one of the main characters is Chinese Australian, but like, yeah, that's great, Wider, but you didn't do any research on how YouTube works or how film industry works, so that's really distracting. And also your con starts as 4 days and ends up 3 days, and there's also this giant ass maze somehow for some reason at a con that, and like, it's so big it wouldn't even be in like Universal Horror Nights. Like, it's ridiculous and unrealistic. It's just like, what? It doesn't make any sense. So basically, Queen of Geek, it kind of has good representation, but like, it's more like it states representation than actually shows it. The most random thing in terms of bad Asian representation is that the Asian main character just like bleaches her hair and dyes her hair pink for a TV show. Like, that wouldn't be a big deal to have to do, because like, Cajun hair is hard to bleach. Like, it is hard to bleach. That's like a thing. Queen of Geek is like fine. It's like a fun book if you don't think about it, but if you're autistic you probably will think about it, because you can't help yourself, and one of your staples of when you do your reviews is to point out random shit the author got wrong, because you can't help yourself and you find it funny. So it's fine. I also feel like it's not edited, so I'm interested to read Jen Wilde's new book, The Biting Us, in the hope that, well, that's been edited properly, right? I've heard mixed things about it. Some people really love it, but here's the thing, I think some people get so caught up in like diversity being shown that they don't actually sit and think about how good the diversity is. I think some people are like, oh, it has an autistic main character, oh, it has a Chinese I can't say the right word. Oh, it has a character whose heritage is Chinese. That's so cool. But like, they don't actually start like think about whether it's good or not. I mean, I'm talking more from like the queer side, and like some of the disabled rap I've seen is like, yeah, they have that, but it's bad. Or it has really horrible implications. Like, I'm gonna not lie, the main reason I haven't ever got around to reading the Percy Jackson series, besides like thinking most of like Greek mythology is really creepy, is that the main character is dyslexic because he can only read ancient Greek, and I'm like, what's the point of him being dyslexic? That's just meaning you've took a character that had a disability and you've turned it into some magical bullshit. Like, that's not good rep. That's magical bullshit. Anyway, moving on to a book that, to my knowledge, has decent-ish rep. And that book is You'll Miss Me When I'm Gone by Rachel L. Solman. So this book is about two twin sisters whose mother has Huntington disease. And Huntington disease being a genetic disorder, they are concerned that they also have the gene that would make it so that they will eventually develop in Huntington's, and they're coming up to 18 so they can finally take the test to find out. And basically, other stuff has happened in the past, like they used to be really close and now they're not. They're also practicing Jews and it's a big part of their life. And their mother is also from Israel, so that some of that stuff kind of comes into it. Kind of. Obviously, I'm not half Israel or Jewish. So I like this book. I had some issues with it. I felt like the twins' voices weren't distinct enough from each other. I think you had to be told which twin was talking, but this also is Solman's debut novel, so I think she just needs time to learn and develop as a writer. I still really liked it, and I like books that try and deal with like hard shit, so fun. Also, being a young killer is hard. I also read the graphic novel On a Girl by Maggie Thrash. This is actually a memoir about her like first crush and kind of realising that she was queer, and also random American bastardizing of Scottish culture musical, which is just weird. Gene Kelly stars in the film adaptation, so that's something. It's quite a solid graphic novel. If you see it, maybe pick it up. I also read Stiletto by Daniel O'Malley. This is the sequel to Rook, which is about this secret British society of magic users, kind of. It's I don't know, it's kind of magic based because vampires exist, but it's more kind of X-Men, I guess, because it's more they go around gathering people that have superpowers, but they can't be explained with genetics. It's basically, it's a really boring version of a superhero story almost. I like this book a lot. The only thing I would say about it is that the main character of the first book, Rook Thompson, isn't really the main character of Stiletto. She appears in it, but it's actually about two other characters. So if you really like Rook and you really like Rook Thompson, just be aware going into Stiletto, it's not really about her. She's still there, she's still doing stuff, we still see her, but she's kind of more a secondary character in this. I still liked it, and it continues with the story in an interesting way, so I would recommend it if you like Rook and it's still got some fun, witty writing with kick-ass women, so fun. And that's all the books I read this month. Not a lot. I had stuff to say about some. Basically, I've been moving stuff that I should have moved months ago, finally, which is why we're in this awkward location that we will never be in again. This is where my desk used to be, kind of. Maybe you can tell that by the fact that Stella has not moved. Stella's in the same pace, everything around her has changed. And this background is probably going to go down soon, so this is the last series of videos that will have this. We're moving on. I actually don't know where I'm going to film from now on. It will be interesting. So I will see you widows next time, where we won't be in a graveyard. Farewell. Oh, I've stopped later. I'm not letting out though, so. Which was Deathless by Catherynne M. Valente. So to start with, I read So to start with, I read and they'll also have